We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Bam.
The third episode of the Quantum Leap Revival series is upon us, and this episode's called Somebody Up There Likes Ben. Of course, you guys got some more theories about what's been going on, but first, let's talk about the episode. So just like the last time, this episode is split into three basic storylines. The primary one, of course, features Ben as he's sent back in time to the year 1977. This year is actually really relevant, and he's placed inside a boxer, and his mission is basic. You know, he just has to win a boxing match and, in a way, rescue the life of his character's brother, who has some seriously severe PTSD. The other storylines, and I'll be breaking down each of these in a little bit, has to do with the scientists as they try to decipher this hidden, mysterious location that Ben's trying to get to that they found out about on that USB drive in the last episode. And maybe more importantly, how long it'll take him to get there, how many leaps. And the third storyline actually has to do a little bit more with Janice, Al's daughter. She doesn't have a ton of screen time, but what she does in this scene is insanely important. So while I would say overall I enjoyed the second episode a little bit more, I found that to be a little bit more exciting, I think this episode takes the cake for being more important in the long run for the entire season, because there's just so many things happening. Now, in the last episode, we did learn something. Ben was hiding a USB drive with the location of something hidden in space-time, and the idea is he's trying to get to that spot, but we don't know anything about it. In this episode, we learn a little bit more about it. Not necessarily what it is, where it is, what the heck he's gonna find there, but we do learn one thing: how long it might take him to get there. It was theorized at one point in the episode that it might take him 20 more leaps to actually get to that spot. The reason why this is important is because we've already had a couple leaps. There's usually one leap per episode, which would equal out to 22 episodes, which would mean he's gonna get to this hidden, mysterious location at the season finale. Not the series finale, this will happen this season. So at least we definitely have something to look forward to, but we just don't know what's there yet. Another thing that we learned about this episode is that he jumped into the year 1977, and this is relevant because he can jump further than his own time stream, which is something they didn't think was possible. So obviously he was born sometime after 1977, and he jumped to that year, which means he can jump as far back as he wants to, which is insane. It might also mean that he can jump into the future. They have not really talked about that yet, but obviously a lot of you guys have the theory that whatever this mysterious location is has something to do with Sam. And honestly, the events of this episode make it entirely plausible that that's the case, because we also get to learn a little bit more about Janice and what's going on with her now. She doesn't have a huge role in the episode, but what she does is actually really important for the rest of the series. We see her visit Beth again, and she's still acting really sketchy, and she drugs her mom and knocks her out because she's looking for something. She's specifically looking for Al's work, and we learn a little bit more about Al and how he really was obsessed with finding Sam and getting him home, which is another thing that a lot of you had theorized about, that Sam was like going crazy about trying to get Sam back. And Beth is telling her daughter that I blocked you from joining this Quantum Leap project because I don't want you to go down the same path as my husband Al and have this be your whole life and just ruin it. And Janice is like, did you ever think that I might succeed where everybody else has failed? That I might actually succeed where Al failed? That I can make his dreams a reality? She's very vague as to what she's talking about, but fans of the original series might be like, she's obviously trying to get Sam back. She's tried to complete Al's mission of getting Sam back. She's going right back in. And by the end of the episode, that seems entirely plausible because she steals Al's work, which was a bunch of stuff from the original project from the original series. So she got the original link to Ziggy, so that weird smartphone looking thing that they had way back when, and she has her own hologram room by the end of the episode, which means something's gonna happen. I don't know what. She's gonna start showing up in the future episodes as another hologram to try to get Ben to do something or to help him or whatever. We still don't know what the heck she is trying to do, if she's actually good or bad. She's being painted as the villain of the story. She's being painted as the antagonist. But I have a feeling that she's a good character. We we haven't seen that side of her yet. I think that there's a huge mystery behind why she's doing what she's doing and why Ben joined her. And some of you think that he joined her because he wasn't himself, that Sam jumped into his body, and because Al's gone, he went to Janice. And maybe that's the case. Again, I don't know. But I think it's a pretty easy guess to say that Janice is trying to get Sam back. And she's trying to do that through Ben, as together they try to find that mysterious location. And I know it kind of rambled on a little bit when it comes down to the story, because a big important part of it really was the scientist and Janice side, and not so much the Ben Song side. The stuff going on with him in the boxing match is fine, you know what I mean? But it's the episodic part of the episode where it could be about anything, but you're really watching for the scientist side at this point. I did appreciate his story, because I feel like for the first time in the season, it wasn't this big, grand, save somebody's life thing. Instead, it was a lot more deeper because it had to do with PTSD and depression and maybe suicide. So we had to get a little bit more heart to heart when it comes down to Ben Song's character, and I like that about this episode because that was a big part of the original series. Now, another thing that you guys had talked about a couple times in my comments for the other videos was that in the original series, it was a little bit religious. Not religious per se, but it had characters like God and the devil. There's this episode with the devil wearing Al's face in the past, basically saying, I'm gonna keep you here forever. Like, it's just this thing. If this takes place in the same universe as the original series, I would imagine that they have to, at least at the bare minimum, talk about that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be religious, but the idea of good and evil is pretty relevant in the show. Even the idea of playing God. That's what Ben Song has been doing. That's what Sam Beckett did way back when. They play God. Also, before I forget to mention, I did try to research this boxing match in 1977 and these characters that it was associated with. It's either entirely fictional or incredibly difficult to research because I couldn't find anything. But honestly, that's neither here nor there. I think the real reason why you watch this episode is for the stuff going on with the scientists in modern day and Janice, because that stuff, at least right now, is really, really exciting and really different, and it's doing a pretty good job building suspense, and honestly, a foundation for the rest of the season at the bare minimum. So I'm really, really interested in seeing where it goes from here, but guys, I want to hear your thoughts about this episode. Is the series picking up for you? Are you enjoying it a little bit more? Do you have any more fan theories about what this mysterious location is and what Janice is doing, what Ben's trying to do? Is Ben Ben? Is Ben Sam in some way? What's going on? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, guys, know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next TV review. And until then, peace out.